Hey everybody, happy 2020. We're back at it with a red truck. It is an unusually warm January day, and I'm going to take advantage of it to start a project that I've been meaning to do this winter. It's actually a project that I'm somewhat embarrassed to document because I shouldn't have been running the truck in this state anyway. Let me show you why. So if you look under there, it's a little hard to see, but the pinion angle is utter garbage. It's way beyond what shims will fix, and as soon as I assembled this kind of 63 spring swap, I saw that it was garbage and I ran it anyway. I was like, well, there's a double cardan joint further up the shaft, I'll probably get away with it for a while. And I did. Nothing broke, nothing blew up, but it was always on my mind. And I'm starting to hear those U-joints clunk around and such, and I could go ahead and just swap the U-joints, but what's the point if I don't fix the problem? So, in order to fix that, I'm going to do a multi-part series where I take the axle off. I'm going to cut off the stock spring perches and weld on some new ones from Rough Stuff. I already have those, and that should be kind of cut and dry, but hopefully informative and interesting to watch. I also, in the process, want to fix something that has been not really bugging me, but should be done while the axle's off. You can see how much surface rust is on this thing, and you can see my crappy brake line job. That was just a quick job to, get this thing stopping. But it's time to fix it, and it's time to take all that surface rust off while I'm under there. And the axle itself, or the housing itself, is actually in great shape. It's not rotted whatsoever. It's just, a little surface rusty. So I'm going to take that all off and repaint. I'm also going to weld a bash plate on the rear that I have also from Rough Stuff, and maybe I'll gusset it. We'll see. But we're going to do it in this pole barn here. My friend is renting me this space for a hell of a deal, and I'm very grateful for that. It's great. The rain doesn't get on the truck, the snow doesn't get on the truck, and it stayed really nice. And I just fired it up after not firing it up for 2 months, and it fired right up, no problem, no struggle. So anyway, I'm going to do this in a multi-part series, maybe 3 videos. I don't know, we'll see. But I have 2 coffees in me, one nice one and one terrible one from Dunkin', and that should get me through today. So let's get after it. So I just took the wheels off, and I have the axle supported on the jack, so we can get a rough estimate of what my pinion angle actually is. I wanted to show you guys how terrible it actually is. I've got a little app on my phone. It's not perfect, but it'll get me close enough, I think. So let's hold it up here, get it parallel with the drive shaft. That is about 17 degrees on the drive shaft angle. The pinion angle, a little bit of eyeballing going on here, but looks to be about 6 or 7 degrees. So the drive shaft pinion angle is about 10 degrees. That is terrible. I want 2 to 3 degrees max, and that's where I'm going to try to get it to by cutting the stock spring perches off and welding on the new Rough Stuff perches. We're going to rotate the axle and get that pinion angle right down to where it's supposed to be. Well, my camera died as I was loading up, but check it out. Got the axle out pretty easily. All the fasteners came undone without too much of a fight, but you know, it's been off the vehicle recently anyway, so I wouldn't expect anything to be seized. She's a beauty. Can't wait to see this thing with some, you know, properly routed brake lines, some new paint, and most importantly, better spring perches that are in the correct location. Awesome. Alright, real quick, I wanted to give you guys a look at what I will be installing on that Tacoma axle. These are the Rough Stuff spring perches. They are 1/4 inch steel. A lot of metal there. 1/4 inch bent steel with 3 separate leaf springs locating pin positions. So you can change your wheelbase, move it farther forward, farther back, or keep it stock. I'm planning on keeping it stock because I like the wheelbase the way it is, but it's good to have the option. They also have tabs on here that if you grind these off, you can fit a larger diameter axle tube. So I'm pretty psyched to install these. They'll fit perfectly with the Chevy 63-inch springs. They're the right width and right spring pinhole diameter. And this is a Rough Stuff bash plate for the rear of the axle, for the rear diff cover. It is even beefier. This is 3/8 inch steel. And it fits right on that rear diff cover, and you do a nice continuous weld around the whole piece, and you have yourself a lot of steel on what is probably the most easily bent part of the axle, that rear diff cover. Toyota axles are very strong by themselves, but it's always good to have a little extra armor, especially if you roll back into a rock or slip off a rock and, you know, slam it somehow. So I'm psyched to get a little more armor on there. So my next step is bringing that axle into my shop at work, where I have a lot more tools at my disposal, and really tearing it down, taking off all the rust and paint, and then taking off the spring perches. I'm just going to cut them right off and grind down the weld so it's smooth. Locate these guys, both for proper width and rotation, and I'm going to tack those on. We will test fit the axle. We're gonna bring it back to the truck, test fit, make sure the angles look good before I burn them in, and then we'll bring the axle back to work, weld this on, weld these on, and paint it all up. So I will see you guys in the next video. Please like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and let me know what you think. See you guys soon.